Yeah, the exact name is crying character. She's a man. A crying game. She's a man. Man presumed innocent. The wife did it. Wife did it. And what was the last one?
1984.
1984. They shoot him. Shoot him. $6.
By the way, so $2 a movie. That ain't bad. Not at all.
No, we actually have a video store that actually offers rates like that.
Oh, there you go. And then he ends up apologizing and giving her a copy of Legends of the Fall
For free.
Which.
And then, as she's about to head out, Bear eats him, and she nearly gets hit by the flying tape.
And he really enjoyed all that. So.
Which does sound like Randall.
Yes. So Dante's dad shows up. Who played that character?
Larry Brandenburg. Let's see. Here, he was Skeet in the Shawshank Redemption, Stan Grossman in Fargo, Detective Nunzio in the Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Claus, basically the one who was.
I knew he looked familiar for something.
Yeah, basically he's the one interviewing Scott, and he's giving him all these false names. What is your name? Par Noel. What is your name? Topo Gigio.
Oh, jeez. So, and I do like the line. I'll be right back. I'll ask for the lecture on how I'm breaking my mom's heart. It's a high guilt factor, but it's short. Okay then.
Wow.
Again, not the straightest moment in here. We'll get to that. His dad actually said that if he has a job interview for him.
Oh, even better is that he goes, how'd you get this? Well, I was crying. It's because a guy in an elevator came in and saw me crying. Naturally, your name came up.
Of course. Green Eastern Insurance was where he got he set up a job for him. Apparently, random name. I didn't think I meant anything. I just wrote it down. We come back to the video store and apparently watch Little Woman.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of Little Women jokes here. I'll get to them both in a sec. I'll tie them both together. One of them was they went to the It Both Sucks and Blows routine, which I have to admit I saw it coming. I wrote the joke down before they even finished the joke. I had it written down in my notes already. Hang on. And the other one, of course, and this came in later, but I'll say it here. 2 hours, 5 women, no breasts. Of course not.
Yeah.
So we meet Ray in a baggy jacket. And
just a little trivia here. When they did the pilot, it was originally supposed to be Jay doing this, but Kevin Smith reminded them that he owned the rights to Jay and Silent Bob.
And he still does to this day.
So just one letter changed and lawsuit avoided.
Yes. So Ray, because this would not fit Jay's character though at all.
Although he did seem to pick up this trait for the animated series.
Yeah, but still, it's different. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baggy jacket. And actually, you know what this reminded me of? Did you ever see what movie was that? I have it in my collection. I think it was Can't Hardly Wait. Was it Can't Hardly Wait? I don't remember. But there was a character. I think it was Can't Hardly Wait. And there was a character in there that kept stealing shit. Every time they saw him in the door, he would steal something. And they would never catch him. He just walked out stealing something. Like every scene. He would later ended up being an American Pie. But it was a funny joke. That's what
well, here he's walking a baggy jacket, arms crossed.
Okay, so,
What's with the jacket? I'm cold. And the arms crossed? Knife fight.
Knife fight. Holding yourself because knife fight. So apparently he was trying to steal beer.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Says, come on, Ray, you know the rules. No fake ID, no beer.
This has to be Jersey. This has to be based in Jersey.
Wow, this is a rather 180 from the guy who was vehemently against selling cigarettes to the little girl.
Yeah, well, there you go. You find out that they got back from this is actually where the 2 hours, 5 women, no breast joke comes from.
Although then again, I think it was more that Randall got caught and basically he wound up getting blamed for it than any scruples. But.
Exactly. Well, Veronica asked for the bathroom key. We found out the bathroom door was stolen. What the fuck?
Is that a normal thing in
No!
Jersey?
That is not normal anywhere!
Who the hell steals a bathroom door? Honestly!
Who has the time? That's the question! Who has the time to go back there and
jimmy out the hinges?
You can't pry those off! It's impossible to pry those off! Like, how the hell
I don't know, give somebody enough time and a crowbar and they may be able to do that.
You're not a fucking superhero! Like, what the fuck?
And then she basically says, well, with all those nice pictures on it, it was only a matter of time. I'm guessing there were some girly pictures on the other end.
I can't get over the fact that the bathroom door was stolen. It makes no
what
sense.
part of Jersey is this in? And what kind of shithole part of Jersey is this in where someone steals a fucking bathroom door?
Oh my god. So anyway,
Honestly.
Not in Highlands, because that's what the mission of the movie was saying. So not in Highlands.
Yeah.
Anyway, we meet Cliff. Who we find out they went to school with him. He graduated college. He works at a law firm in New York. I didn't bother to write down the law firm because it really doesn't matter. Who is Cliff?
He's played by Andre Nemec, who actually went on to become a writer.
Really?
Yeah, let's see here. We go. Well, let's see. Started out doing.
Well, he's definitely a good actor, so there you go.
Well, he started out doing TV. He then went on to write Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. Or co-write that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Michael co-write that one. He co-wrote the sequel Out of the Shadows. He's writing for Zoo currently.
Okay.
On upcoming projects, he's actually working on the next Beverly Hills Cop movie. And as far as acting goes, this was, I think, one of his few major roles.
Quote unquote.
Well, actually, I think this is actually his only major role because he mainly did a lot of guest work, and his last role before 2015 was in Lois and Clark. He played Jerry White.
Okay.
Jerry White. Well, his last role was a cameo in Project Almanac.
Well, he hit on Veronica because really they knew each other. Blah, 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 blah.
Reminds me of that Rick guy from the movie.
I was thinking that, and he probably just didn't want to use the character again.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was.
Thank
you. I was wondering why it reminded me of somebody from the movie. Thank you.
Yeah, I think they gave some of his traits to Lance Dowds in the Clerks 2.
So, I do love the fact that...
and speaking of which, the plot of this with Dante's dad trying to get him to go do a better job, it actually feels like the plot of Clerks 2.
It really does, a little bit.
Where he's thinking of just going to Florida and doing that car thing, the car wash thing, because it's what's expected of him.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
Yeah, so why do I have the feeling that he saw us, he thought, it's shit.
It's a good storyline. Let's just go with it.
It's a shit pilot, but it's a good storyline, so.
Yeah, well, it also worked better in Clerks too.
Yeah.
So, with Jennifer Strawback being in that movie as well. Yeah. Anyway, I did enjoy the line that Dante tried to kick him out, and he said, "We're closing." And Cliff asked, "I thought you were 24 hours," and Dante's reaction was, "Not at night too," which doesn't make any sense.
It's like Sex Panther. 60% of the time, it works all the time.
So we talk about how come Dante and them don't like Cliff. Apparently, they were painting Bookley Tower. And
the water tower. The water tower, yeah.
So stupid.
They were graffitiing Bookley Tower. The police caught him, and Cliff sold him out.
Yeah.
Basically, he froze and sold him out.
So I did write down that Veronica calls him charming, focused, and motivated. And Todd comes back with, "and with silk hair that begs to be touched." And Randall, the best part was Randall, "I'd love to disagree with you, but I can't."
Boy, Randall, still waters run deep there, eh?
So,
and I thought Jay was the closeted gay man in denial.
And of course, he's an adult, and Veronica walks out.
Well, then again, he's also the guy who has no shame in watching hermaphroditic porn.
So, they walk out, she walks out, and Dante asks, "Am I really stuck in high school?" And Randall does say yes. Yeah. So we cut to the next morning, I guess, or later on this night? Was it later this night or next morning at this point?
I think it may have been the next morning, maybe.
Well, he,
and in Randall's defense, high school never really ends.
Well, depends on where you go. He's leaving a message for Veronica. He says to ignore the other 3 messages, including ignore the bitter, hostile one. Just deal with the lonely, pathetic one, apparently. Why not? So, apparently they got into another fight. About something about, this is exactly what I wrote down, something about not participating in my own life. Maybe I should have been paying attention. And he's going on this whole diatribe, and Randall...
That actually sounds more like a Randall line.
Well, Randall was in deep thought thinking about pie during this entire monologue.
Which honestly does sound like Randall.
That does not surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah, which honestly does sound like Randall.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Actually does sound like me at times, too.
Actually, that sounds like Jim Brewer in general. Anyway, so he's going to make a call. The job phone call. That sounds pretty funny. So Randall starts running down things you're going to miss, like spying on the midnight aerobics class. Why not? There's scrolls in the parking lot. What? and bagel hockey, which actually does sound like fun.
And honestly does sound like something the pair of them would do.
On the roof, though.
Yeah.
On the roof.
Well, they should have done that when they lost the ball. Get a bagel. Bagel, problem solved.
Great idea. Do I So we go inside, and this is the part where I'm like, wow, this just went very, very dark. Where Dante makes a phone call, he gets the interview, and then he turns to Randall and said, "Do you think I made a mistake?" And Randall does a full-out detailed miming of hanging yourself. Oh my God, this was dark.
Well, that's actually something I do.
Dude, it was dark. What the fuck?
Well, no, I done the detailed hanging yourself. But
over the topness of it, it was like, oh my God.
Although, once again, it does really sound like something Randall would do.
Yeah, but that was dark.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to be a comedy show. Anyway, dark.
Dark comedy.
Oh my God. So we cut to Todd saying, you really want to be an insurance agent if they'll have me, and this leads to Dante practicing "You're not covered" 3 different ways, and all of the I'm just sitting like, what the fuck? Seriously?
And then the last way goes, "You're not covered," while pointing. But he goes, "Wow, that actually, I like that one the best. It actually made me feel like I wasn't covered."
So we, Randall runs in with an idea on how to get Sandra to like Todd, and we'll have a mixer on Thursday night. She'll get drunk, you'll look good, and do the Dante's line of needing more beer for that, which is a very funny line.
Well, I'm going to have to order more beer.
And that's just friends being friends. I got no problem with that joke. Very funny.
It actually sounds like the only way I'll get laid.
So, or was I? Needs more beer.
Okay,
oh yeah, sorry. My father lands. Oh yeah, he says we find out Thursday night, and Dante has his job interview on Friday morning. He wants to be an adult and not do this. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I don't know where the fuck this one came from. But Randall says my father lands jumbo jet loaded all the time.
So he was the inspiration for Flight.
What the fuck?
I'm guessing probably the rash of drug pilots in the 1990s.
Seriously.
Apparently, it was so much that they actually made a joke about it on The Simpsons, where Homer,
I'm not surprised about that.
where Homer, looking for a new water go after getting thrown out of Moe's, actually borrows a pilot's uniform to get into a pilot's-only bar called the Black Box, and
like
actually winds up getting mistaken for a pilot and has to fly a plane.
Like you do. So anyway, he doesn't want to have it at the
Quick
stop,
the faux stop.
Faux stop. And because he wants to make sure he has the reference, which leads to Randall wondering what the hell a reference is. And Todd said it's like a rap sheet with only good stuff, which might just be the best explanation for a reference sheet ever. I didn't expect it. It was very funny.
There's a whole lot of truth in that.
That's
line.
a very good line. So we find out at the end of this whole little scene, as Randall and Todd are storming out, that apparently they had an oath in 8th grade: you do what comes easiest. The minute it gets difficult, you quit. The fuck?
Kind of sounds like a lot of people I work with.
And then magically it's Thursday. Apparently magically it's Thursday night. This is a really strange time frame.
Well, the sun didn't set, it crashed.
I know, seriously, magically it's Thursday night. I don't know what the hell day they started the scene on. We cut back to the video store.
In the middle of the mixer.
And Sandra, I keep saying her name wrong. I want to say Sasha because I've seen the wrestling, but Sandra. She pretty much admits to burning a man in a tanning booth after 5 hours. Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, she said she forgot he was in there because he fell asleep, and she only realized that he was in there when she smelled something cooking.
I can't.
And you thought the miming hanging was dark.
Wow. Todd don't makes like lemonade lemonades and pretty much says, "Oh, I'm one who can cook." Wow, thank you for that.
I have to say, nice attempt at a save.
Well, it worked because Cassandra starts hitting on him, saying that she wants to pretty much fuck at a tanning salon. Tanning salon bed. Why not? And I don't blame Todd, and I can't blame Todd here because whatsoever.
Todd just has a full-out BSOD.
And then Randall slaps him in the head, and Todd just goes with the conversation. Can't blame him at all.
Which actually was a good moment.
I can't argue that. It was very funny. Yeah. So we cut back to the faux stop, and Ray is back.
Trying to take out a giant bag of ice.
What the fuck?
And I remember you were actually laughing at that.
It was so ridiculous. It was one of those what the fuck funny moments. It was like, that's just over the top. That's just ridiculous.
And how was he going to get that past Dante? What was he going to say? He was pregnant or something?
Like, there are ways of getting around it. That was just over the top. I understood the point of the joke.
Yeah.
That's what made it funny.
Yeah.
It was just a way of getting the register to let them know that Cliff's having a party.
Yeah.
And Veronica's at the party.
And he basically says, he said if I brought him the ice, he'd let me stay outside